Ooh, what's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarice.
The question of the day is...
Should you see Spider-Man?
No Way Home.
That's the home.
Yeah,
yep.
Spider-Man came out 20 years ago. There have been some Spider-Man since.
They're smart. They know what I mean.
Because we get Nerdy Nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you.
That is right. Welcome back to our no spoiler chat here on the channel for Spider-Man No Way Home, the third installment in the Spider-Man franchise, but I think it's like the 27th Marvel movie in the MCU.
Oh my God. It's the third movie of the third Spider-Man.
It is the third movie of the third Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yes. And this one, again, stars Tom Holland. It is once again directed by John Watts, who has directed the past two Spider-Man installments. Mm-hmm. It is also starring Zendaya. Mm-hmm. It is starring Jacob Batalon as Ned. We've got Aunt May, played by...
Babe, you can't do that to me.
We've got Doctor Strange, played by...
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes.
Yeah, that one I know. Oh, and also, he's in the trailer, but Wong is in it, who is played by Benedict Wong.
Benedict Wong is playing Benedict Wong?
We don't know his Wong. First name, I don't know. But
yeah. We have both Benedicts.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's other people in it. I will say that in terms of non-spoiler reviews, mm-hmm. I think that this is the hardest non-spoiler review we've ever done, mm-hmm. because who is in the movie is something we can't talk about.
Yeah. And like you guys have most likely seen the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we're not here to like confirm anything, but it is going to be a really weird thing mm-hmm. to talk around, because a lot of this movie is spoilers, and you know, almost
the entire thing.
Yeah, and good job to the editors for making that work, because it's a tough gig. Mm-hmm. And you know, I definitely can appreciate why they had to reuse a lot of footage. You know, there wasn't
we saw a lot of that train fight in the trailers.
Yeah.
Because it's Doctor Strange and it's Peter Parker, and you don't have to worry about spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. Which honestly was well done. And there's stuff. It wasn't like they put the whole fight in the trailer, so mm-hmm. I actually still feel like I got something out of it. But yeah, whoever's editing and cutting those trailers, well done.
And there were lines in the trailers that aren't in the movie.
Yeah.
There was a lot of misdirection in the trailers, which I really appreciated, because when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, that's not what I thought that moment was at all. Mm-hmm. And the context across the board, without spoiling it, the context in the movie is better than the context in the trailers.
Yeah.
And so that is where I'm going to leave that. The things that we can tell you, because it is in the trailer. Mm-hmm. Mysterio has outed Spiderman's identity to the world. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that it's Peter Parker, and he goes to Doctor Strange to have him use a spell to make everyone forget that his identity is as Peter Parker.
Yes.
And it goes wrong,
mm-hmm.
multiverse shenanigans ensue,
mm-hmm.
and it's maybe the best Spider-Man movie. Non-spoiler review. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. I really, really enjoyed it. I think that the only barrier this movie has is that it is for people who have seen the entire MCU. We talked about mm-hmm. this. I think that other than that, it's pretty fantastic. You know, the mm-hmm. stories in it are amazing. The themes, the acting, the characters, the writing is pretty tight. Across the board. We're going to go see it again on Sunday and then do a spoiler chat of it next week. So we'll have seen it twice. So we'll really be able to dive into the storylines and how things work and connect and possibly relate to other Marvel works.
And that spoiler chat will be live on the mm-hmm. channel. So you can come join us. Come talk Spider-Man with us Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We haven't done one of these live yet, but we really wanted to do this one because there's so much I want to talk about. Yeah. And I'm probably going to cry because I cried, I think, 7 times in the movie.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think I cried 7 times
6,
in this movie.
Yeah.
If you are a Spider-Man fan, this movie does things that will break you.
Yeah.
And they're like they're not like sad. It's so hard to explain without spoiling. But what this movie successfully does is it takes Tom Holland's Spider-Man and allows him to mature past the MCU version of Spider-Man that we've had into a like adult version of his character that is fully fleshed out and has a better understanding of his own self. And the way that this movie does that through its arc and through its story is so natural and so real to the characters involved.
Yeah.
And that it really does do what good movies do in terms of successfully telling a story about character that is character driven, where the actions that everyone on screen is making feels like the right thing for that character to be doing.
Yeah.
There was never a moment in this movie where I was like, why would that person be doing that? You know what I mean? Like, I really, the through line of that, other than one character from a past movie, one of the villains who is in the trailer, who just is a new character.
Yeah.
I think we can say it, right? That's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, I think anything that's in the trailer is fair game.
Jamie Foxx's Electro is just a different character because
Jamie Foxx's Electro in the
Amazing Spider-Man 2
is not it's not good. It's not good. And yeah, so Electro in this movie I definitely think suffers from that.
Yeah, it's tough because in Amazing Spider-Man 2 he's two characters. Like he is Max, and then once he becomes Electro,
he's a different person.
He's just a complete everything about him changes.
Yeah,
completely.
he's not Max anymore.
And so this version of him is like a third different version of him.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
So I think that was definitely that one. That was a little bit of a weak spot for me. I just that. I mean, they did well with what they had to work with there, because there's not enough. There's not a lot to Electro that they're given previously, so it's like, wow.
Well, I think what they did that was really smart, though, was this was the first time in the Spider-Man franchise where they've allowed Jamie Foxx to use his natural charisma and ability in the character. Like, I think that what was so crazy to me about Amazing Spider-Man 2 is they got Jamie Foxx, who is without a doubt one of the most talented men on the planet, right? Like, no one, there's nothing he cannot do, and he does it very, very well. Jamie Foxx is an Academy Award caliber actor. So this movie allows him to be more himself and bring a little bit more to the role, which means that it is a better character for the screen, but is so much a different character than the one that we've met in the previous movie that it is, like, weird.
Yeah.
Whereas
there's a disconnect there.
The other characters from the trailers who we've met, right? We know that Alfred Molina is back as Doc Ock.
Yeah.
Incredible. Without saying anything else. We're not going to say anything. I'm just going to say good or bad.
Yeah, he's incredible. Like, I mean, they're all good.
Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin.
Yeah.
Stand out.
Yeah.
Gets. They do right by Norman Osborn. It's great.
Yeah.
Sandman's back.
Great. Yeah.
I really like the way they use Sandman in this movie. Lizard is back. Lizard is probably the least used,
but it has good moments.
But is very in line with Amazing Spider-Man 1 characterization.
Yeah. They did a lot of great things with all the characters. The only one that's a little bit weird to me is Electro, because the previous movie was just weak.
The weakest of them.
So they did what they could.
But, it is tough. I don't know what else to say about this movie. I cried like a baby. I loved it. There's catharsis. There's heart. There's so much humor. Don't just go see it before anything can be spoiled for you.
Yeah. Stay off Twitter if you can. I mean, it's one of those things where if you can see this without getting spoiled, I would really, really try to, because it's there's a lot to this movie, and there's a lot of love in this movie, and it might be the best Spider-Man movie. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna go see it again.
It is definitely the most true to not the comics in terms of like comic book accuracy, but it is the most true to who Peter Parker is in his soul in the comics.
Yeah.
The soul of Peter Parker is thrust onto the screen in this film in a way that, I mean, I could cry right now thinking about it.
It's gut-wrenching.
After the movie, we went to Starbucks because I needed a coffee. We saw this thing in the middle of the afternoon, and I cried so much that I was starting to get a tension headache, and I needed to release it. So we went to Starbucks, we got a coffee, and I started to talk about a moment in the movie. And I was talking really quietly because I didn't want to spoil for anyone in the Starbucks, but I needed to say this thing that close. And I literally had to grab tissues and leave the Starbucks to calm down while she picked up our order. That's not even a joke. I literally went outside, and I went out the wrong door, so I went out the exit door, and I ended up on a side street.
Yeah.
I was standing at a garbage can, calming myself down, blowing my nose, and I turned around and I was like, I have to walk around the entire building to come inside. This is as good a story for Peter Parker as the PS4 game is. And I think the PS4 game is a 10 out of 10. And so I can't not give this a 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. This movie to me is a 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. And that is to me, I know that there are going to be people who don't have the same emotional connection to the things that happen in this movie who aren't going to see it that way, because it is, I can see where the cracks in it are if you are not as fully invested in the story they're telling as I was. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But for me, this is almost a perfect movie, because what I want out of a movie is I want to have an emotional experience where I feel like a part of me is either changed or touched or brought out or revealed to myself. Mm-hmm. And this movie had all four of those, right? And so whether or not I continue to love this movie in the future, the viewing experience of this movie the first time was an absolute 10 out of 10 for me. And I'm so in love with it.
Yeah. And I think that's important. A movie doesn't have to be completely airtight to be a good movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know really what else to say about it. I don't want to spoil anything, especially not by accident, because y'all deserve to be able to see it and experience it for yourself. It is a viewing experience. Definitely go if you can. Mm-hmm. We loved it. We're going back again on Sunday, and I can't wait. We're going to go see it in IMAX.
And I will say this. I have been on the internet for the past few months. I've seen a lot of the things floating around. Mm-hmm. And what I'm so happy about is the best parts of this movie, despite the fact that I've seen probably every leak and everything just by accident because of Twitter or the fact that we are on YouTube all the time. The best parts of this movie were not spoiled for me.
Yeah.
And they're easy to be spoiled. So go, if it matters to you, go see this before that happens, because there is one scene in this movie that to me is, it's the thing that made me cry in the Starbucks. So I'm going to start crying again, which is the problem. There's a scene in this movie that was so emotional for me and so joyful, despite some of the things that happen in it. And I just... there's a few of them, but there's one scene in this movie that to me is just absolutely perfect. Mm-hmm. And there's times in this movie where it slows down more than MCU movies typically do. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple in this movie where it really allows the emotion of what's happening to happen. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I cannot recommend you seeing this without knowing those moments beforehand. Because the way that they affected me, and hopefully, maybe it won't do the same for you, but the way it affected me, I was absolutely blown away by it.
Yeah, it's very well done. And, like I said before, done with a lot of thought and care and, passion.
Absolutely. It's
really wonderful when you can tell the people who are working on something really feel like they're working on something that is precious to them and that they love.
We'll talk about it in the spoiler chat, but meticulous care went into this movie.
Yeah, 1,000%. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's all we have to say, right?
Yeah.
Just go see it.
We hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did, because, it's fantastic.
And, if you have not seen all of the Spider-Man movies ever, watch all of them.
Yeah.
Because
watch those first.
The villains that you know are in the movie are in this movie for a reason. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's not fan service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are going to be like, there's so much fan service in this movie. There's no fan service in this movie.
No, there is
a plot.
Yeah, it is
and
very
it is relevant.
Purposeful.
Yeah. It is very purposeful.
Yeah, nothing is done for the sake of, because we had a whim.
Yeah,
right?
And they use those characters to say things about Tom Holland's Spider-Man that are right. They nailed it. They you know.
Yeah.
No matter what your complaints are about Tom Holland's Spider-Man up until this point, his relationship with Tony Stark, whatever, the MCU of this Spider-Man movie franchise, this movie, they got it absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah! Woo! I'm gonna stop crying. I'm gonna stop crying Monday after the spoiler chat. I'm gonna cry again when we see the movie on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna cry during the spoiler chat. And then I'm gonna stop crying until, you know, probably 4 months from now when we buy this on like 4K and we watch it on our new TV. That's really nice. If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. Mm-hmm. If you don't, hit the dislike button. You can't see how many dislikes there are, but we can, so we will know that you hate us, and that's just fun. You can also leave mean comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry. And,
you know, we must feed her because no one likes a hangry algorithm god.
Nobody likes a hangry algorithm god.
Yeah.
That needs to be a shirt.
Yeah, that's a good t-shirt.
You can also follow us around the internet. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
And I'm at Clarice Dracaris.
And you can come to some live chats. Let's throw those out there. Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. If you're watching this tonight that it goes up, 11 a.m. we're doing our Wheel of Time episode 7? Spoiler chat. Mm-hmm. Apparently, we're going to find out who the Dragon Reborn is. So
we'll find out if you're right.
I still think it's Rand, but my number 2's Perrin. Mm-hmm. Who's yours?
God, I don't know. I think it's either Perrin or Egwene.
You know what? That's 2 for Perrin. That means it's Perrin, y'all.
Yeah,
we cracked the code.
We cracked it. We figured it out.
Or come back Monday night for our Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler chat that we're going to do live here on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And if you interacted with this video in any way, if you watched it, if you liked it, if you subscribed, if you did anything, I just want to say thank you because talking about Spider-Man on the internet is exactly what I want to do with my life. And so this is just great. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
This is like the best that it could be. So do something nerdy tonight.
Bye, guys.
God, this movie's good.